The end of an abusive relationship always comes with a whole bunch of revelations. You start asking yourself questions. How did I let this happen to myself? How could I have let things get so far? Usually these are questions of self-blame. And this doesn't just apply to physically abusive relationships, but it also applies to emotionally abusive relationships or relationships in general with toxic people. You start asking yourself those questions. How did I get here? I thought I was a good person. I thought I was confident. I thought I was strong. I thought I was capable. And now I am left with nothing. I don't know who I am. I don't know how I let things get this far. And someone has convinced me that their treatment of me is okay for an extended period. So today, what I want to talk about is setting healthy boundaries for yourself in a space where you feel like you perhaps don't have any. Welcome back to my channel. I'm the one they call Peachy and you are most welcome to join me here. Now, it is no secret that I speak a lot about abuse and abusive situations, but aside from that, I really felt that today I want to talk about setting boundaries. Now, one of the worst things I think about an abusive relationship is how it slowly, the abuser or the toxic person in your life just completely undermines your human rights. So you might be sitting at the end of your abusive relationship or situation when you are feeling like, I don't have any boundaries, I don't have anything. I just want to reassure you that you do. You've just been convinced that you don't have any, so you need to rediscover that. And so I've got 4 key points, 5 actually, that I want to talk about to reassure you that you have boundaries, and if you feel like you don't, you can start setting some for yourself so that you can start feeling a little bit more confident. You just have to pick these up in the right area and implement them in the right areas. So my first point is start at the bottom. If you feel like you don't have any boundaries, like you let someone treat you like trash, despite the fact that you never allow someone to treat other people you love like that, start at the bottom. Start with the way you feel. What makes you feel irritated? That's a boundary. What makes you feel angry? What makes you feel hurt, afraid, or scared? There are boundaries there. So explore that. If you feel angry when someone shouts at you, that's your boundary. I don't want people shouting at me because it makes me angry, etc., etc., And then you can also go to, what are my religious views? What am I willing to tolerate? What am I not willing to tolerate? What am I willing to compromise? What am I not willing to compromise? Even your political views. These are all little things that you can start to look at as your boundaries. Because in these toxic relationships, you were convinced to let it slide, let all these things slide for a long period of time, right? So start small rather than immediately jumping in on it and saying, oh, I let this person treat me like this. I don't know how it got to that point. Just start slowly rebuilding yourself back. Again, start taking back that boundary, that power that you have to say, I don't like this and I do like that. I will tolerate this and I won't tolerate that. That's really like the very, very basics of it, And then your second thing to do would be to learn to say no. Now that is much easier than it seems, and everybody knows this. But I would say that the best way to do this is to set those boundaries for yourself to say no. So, for example, if you have a certain situation where people are always coming up to you at the last minute and saying, oh, I need this, and then you find yourself rushing for it and it causes you a lot of stress and it makes you really angry, then set a boundary there. So what I do is, like, if you don't speak to me 24 hours before the time about something, I'm not doing it. I don't care what it is or how amazing it's going to be. I'm not doing it. That's my boundary. So that's how you teach yourself to say no. You give people the conditions for when you will say yes. And if they don't meet those conditions, it's a solid no. You don't ever cross that line. So that's an easy way to teach yourself how to say no, right? Then you want to forgive yourself it is not easy to realize that you don't have to please everyone. You don't have to please your partner. You're allowed to say no in certain situations, even in your home, even in your relationship. You're allowed to say no. You do not have to please everyone all the time, and you don't have to be an agreeable person to be a good partner. You just have to set the boundaries and respect someone else's boundaries and work together towards making the relationship mutually beneficial, right? Any relationship, it's about respecting people's boundaries and working together so that there's a safe space. So forgive yourself for not being able to please everyone, because you will undoubtedly, once you start implementing boundaries, not be able to please some people. Then you want to forgive yourself for neglecting yourself. When you are pleasing everyone, you are not making time to please yourself. And as funny as that sounds, you're not making time to enjoy yourself. You're not prioritizing yourself. When you take on things last minute that you didn't plan on, you don't like really, you are prioritizing someone else's issue and taking it onto your shoulders, which becomes a burden and adds to your stress because you know you don't want to do those things. So you have to forgive yourself for not putting yourself first. That's a self-preservation instinct that was sort of undermined by a toxic or abusive relationship. And in order to start doing that again, to start building yourself up in that area again, you've got to, my last point, number 5, set hard boundaries for yourself with regards to self-care. If I am tired, I don't want to do it. If I've got a headache, I'm not going to do it. If I have something else to do, even if it's free time, even if it's me time, even if I'm just painting my nails, I am busy, full stop. No one is going to tell me what to do with my time. I don't care if your in-laws are coming, if the president is visiting. If I am painting my nails at 7 o'clock, I am painting my nails at 7 o'clock. That's a hard boundary that I set for self-care. Because when you come from a toxic relationship, there's like a minimal self-care. You actually get taught by toxic people that looking after yourself is bad because it means you're not giving them enough attention. And a lot of people who comes from these kind of toxic relationships will agree with me there. So you want to really hardcore enforce those boundaries with yourself so that you can tell yourself and other people, I care about me enough to say that I don't want to do these things. I'm not going to tolerate it. And some people are going to say, oh, since when did you become such a mean person? Since when did you become such a whatever? Doesn't really matter. Doesn't matter. Because as long as you're taking care of yourself, you're doing the right thing. Now, I'm not trying to say be mean to everybody, but people are going to have a problem with it. When if you've let them do what they want with you your whole life, they're going to have a problem with you putting boundaries down. But when you put boundaries down, you can figure out very quickly who are the healthier individuals in your circle. And you can figure out very quickly what's the place that you put the unhealthy individuals in your circle. So yeah, those are my thoughts on healthy boundaries. I'm learning a lot about myself during this period. But I'm grateful and I'm very excited because I feel more me now than I've ever felt before. And it's a hard thing to understand and to say. But it's definitely because I gave myself the opportunity to be me, if that makes sense. One day I'll tell you guys all the crazy stuff. Tonight is not that night, however. But I hope that you have a fantastic evening further. And I hope that you take care of yourself. And if you want to get into bed at a certain time, and that's a hard boundary for you, get off YouTube. Stop watching this video. But before you do that, don't forget to like and subscribe. But anyway, thanks so much for being here. I hope you have a absolutely fantastic evening further. And take care of yourself because you absolutely deserve it. Cheers.
Unless otherwise indicated, all the following scripture quotations are taken from the Holy Bible, New Living Translation, with copyright by Tyndale Foundation, used by permission of Tyndale Publishers, all rights reserved.
그대 잠깐 눈을 붙일 때 나는 마음에 물을 붙여요 비밀의 나만의 초콜릿 그대 차가운